Good day, everyone. Market analysis for October 16th. Oh no, yeah, 16th, 2024. Thank you for tuning in. I'm very, very excited about the opportunities that await us here at the season 3 of the Fourth Industrial Revolution, or the Great Reset. I speak about it with great optimism because I've always been looking at this time from a perspective like 5-6 years in advance, and it's only because this is the most transformational time that we have in recorded history, and I wanted to pay attention to the trends that occur throughout these types of times that some people call them revolutions. I'm going to reference it as a renaissance. And as we're watching this all unfold, as the corruption and deceit is, it's kind of like the wheat and the chaff being separated from each other. What do you do with the chaff after? You burn it. And we're watching right now the chaff burning. Where faith in the old systems, faith in the old way of doing things is free falling. And it's exciting to watch. It's very, very exciting to watch. So for market analysis, we're going to start off with silver. And I'm also going to be going to 4-hour charts. I think I'm going to analyze 4-hour charts from now on, just because it gives us a little bit more detail in the price action. And because of how close we are to this all coming to fruition, it's just helpful. It's helpful to see some of those extra details. So with silver, there a few days ago, October 4th, it formed a new high coming out of a bearish little mini trend. And since then it's been retracing, allowing people to get it on sale. In fact, that's almost 10% off, I think, eh? Yeah, 8.73% off for a while there. And a lot of people were able to accumulate. You can tell whenever there's a lot of price action whipping up and down, there's lots of people buying and selling. And so now that there's been some accumulation, we can see that the bulls are winning. And if someone wants to get it, the price has gone up. So right now, we're still on track for our target price of, I think it's 33. Yeah, 33.6, right? 33.8, somewhere in there. 34 is going to be might be the psychological level that we're headed to. But yeah, that's the deal on silver for now. Gold pushing up against that all-time high, definitely giving it a run for its money. If the bulls are able to get above that, I do expect there to be a retracement back to this area here, simply because we had this nice, big, deep pullback here into the 2600 level, which is that psychological level there. And I believe that we'll see this jump up to that 2750 level next. That'll be kind of like the next marker, and then retrace back to this all-time high that we're at right now. Especially since it's been having some difficulty get over top of it. If we get over it, then it'll be fine. It'll provide that support that we need to go up. It's fun to watch. There we are. S&P 500 formed a new high again yesterday. Of course, we marked that off. A little bit of a retracement coming back towards the previous high that took people by surprise. Oh my gosh, I just can't believe it. Well, so anyway, could very well just keep on going up. I mean, it's been providing support on itself every high here for a while. Even this high back here on September 26th took a while, but once it got up, it used support very, very well and has been using support basically ever since. This has been a continuing pattern, even with a dip here. This didn't phase it, and so technically it can still go up. I would still be dollar cost averaging my selling positions on this one. I'm very, very, I am short on this. Oh, and we have guests. How's it going?
Good.
Deborah, yeah, pleased to meet you. How are you?
I'm good, and yourself?
Yeah, doing well, thanks.
Good.
Well. You were in. How did you come to know about the room?
Drilling.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. Glad you could make it today.
Thank you.
We're just analyzing. I just finished gold and silver. I can quickly touch base on that with you. You're the only one in the room, so.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and here's Audrey. Awesome. She's just connecting. There she is. How's it going?
Oh, there we are.
You made it.
You're very quiet today.
Am I quiet today? Hang on. I did turn down my microphone yesterday because it was too loud for someone else.
Oh.
How's that? Is that better?
I can hear it. Hi, Deb. Morning.
Good morning, Audrey.
Is that good? Does that sound all right for everybody?
Yeah, it's good for me.
I'm okay.
Okay, wonderful. Alrighty. So let's go back to this.
So Deb has to leave at I don't know. What time did you say?
Latest 8 o'clock.
Okay, yeah, no worries. Well, we'll be done the analysis by then, I would imagine.
Okay,
all right.
Good.
So, here we go. Let's. I'm just going to make myself a little bit bigger so that I can point at the screen if I need to. Okay. Awesome. And away we go. So this is a silver chart. Price of silver last week formed a nice strong high on October 4th rather. That's almost 2 weeks ago already. And since that time, it has had a nice little pullback. So it went on sale for a bunch of people. Anybody that wanted to get it was able to get it at about 8% off the high price there in October. And so since that time, the price has been rallying back where the bulls are gaining strength. We could see that after that high there, the price came back into this accumulation zone that we have colored here, this long rectangle. This accumulation zone has provided support for that price in the past, and as a result of it accumulating here, I believe that the bulls are winning, and we'll see some new highs form, possibly by the end of the week, but certainly within the next week or so. My target price on this one right now is $33.90, almost $34. I believe that that's going to be where the next pullback will come. So we'll see the price jump up, hit this area, and then start to retrace back to this high price here. Now, again, might not, but this is typically the type of action that we see through these periods of time where precious metal values are going to be going up simply because the faith in the fiat currencies are going down. Gold, same type of story. It's right now pushing up against its all-time high of $26.85. And since that time, again, this was back in September, that was September 26th. Since that time, it's actually had a very nice retracement as well into an accumulation zone where the price has pivoted since then, and the bulls are definitely on the rise, showing great strength. We'll see here over the next couple of days whether or not the price can break over top of that all-time high. If it does, chances are it will extend up to the 2750 level, which is way up here. And as a result, I believe that if it goes up that high, we're probably going to see another retracement coming back to challenge whatever high gets formed next. So we can watch that unfold here over the next few weeks. S&P 500 formed itself that new high yesterday at the, what is that, 58.72.
Sorry, Paul.
Yeah,
Can I ask you just to move yourself a little bit away from the yeah that
sure.
yeah
Yeah,
that
you
way
bet.
then I can see that.
Then you can see some of these numbers. These are the important numbers to you, aren't they?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, you bet. You betcha. So yeah, for gold, that's what I see happening. Or sorry, we're on to S&P 500 with that new high that got formed. This here has had a pullback, and now we can see that the price is now retesting that previous high formed on October 11th. I believe these small incremental steps are going to be continuing as the Federal Reserve continues to print to make it look like this market is going up. We can tell though by the way that the market is moving, and especially by the way there's more and more interest in precious metals, that the price does not reflect the value of the market. The price of the market right now is simply letting us know just how much inflation we are experiencing, because everywhere else in the markets is very, very discouraging. And the only thing that is encouraging is price. And that keeps that retail business of trading in effect. So yes, I believe we'll see some more incremental steps as it goes to its next target, probably around the 6,000 mark. I believe that that's going to be a kind of a psychological level where there will be some more resistance at that time. But as always, I am definitely bearish on the markets, and so I would be always prepared. Even if the price is going up, I would be prepared to sell. US 30, this is the Dow Jones, very similar. Yesterday it formed another new high. Oops, that's the wrong pen. Formed another brand new high. So we're going to go ahead and mark that. As this, let me just get this marked. There we go. So this all-time high here has had a very, very brief pullback. And as you can see, it's just now starting to test this area where we formed that new high on the 27th. Again, similar type of movements are going to be occurring with the S&P 500 as with the US 30 as we see with the S&P 500, simply because this is again that the market manipulation trying to tell us what the price of the market is instead of being transparent with all the inflation. So again, we'll see these incremental steps rise as time goes on. With the Japanese markets, this is a little bit different. It formed its all-time high quite a while ago, back in July. And after this massive dip, where the Bank of Japan is basically told everybody our currency is worthless, we're not doing anything about it. We're just going to print our way through the rest of this. That has certainly affected the price in this area. But because of that inflation, it does just continue to go up. But we're noticing, unlike the US 30 or the S&P 500, the Japanese markets are not rallying with the same veracity. And we're quite certain that this will likely be the first market to kind of to collapse as this reset occurs. So this one here is it's going to be interesting to watch. Whether it gets this high or not, I don't know. I doubt it. I'm actually doubting it. I think that we are within 3-4 weeks of seeing the official crash that we predicted back in 2020 when COVID brought the markets to a close that day. So yeah, I think we're getting there. This here is just a short trade that I had predicted back and then, and this was back in beginning of September. It didn't work out the way that I had thought, but I didn't put any money into this. I'm not currently trading in the fiat markets, simply because it's too unpredictable. We don't know what day it's going to happen, and so I'm just letting it happen, and we watch the charts to get a feel for where we're headed. Next, we've got NPC. This is a meme coin that I've been following since June, and right now these trades are doing very well. The first trade that I took on July 3rd has profited. In fact, at one point here at the all-time high that formed a couple days ago on the 12th, that was a 140% increase on that particular trade. And when the price was down low back here, so the price had gone up from my entry point here at the 1.6 cent level, and from that high at 3.5 cents, it actually retraced down and went into the negative at 1.2 cents. But then as it was coming back and showing a little bit more promise, I entered again with another position at the 1.4 cent level, and since that time it has today at this time, that where's my ruler? There's my ruler. Since that time, it's gone up 140%. But those are now two trades that are in high profit right now on this. With that new all-time high that's been formed, we do see a retracement coming back down, and now it has finished testing this old high price. So the new high price became kind of the next marker, and that retracement is just retesting. And so as long as over the next couple of days, if this price can maintain its position above this 3.3 price range, the 3.3 cents, then I'm confident that we'll make another extension, probably towards the 5 cent level. At which point, that's where my target is. At which point I'll be profiting about 250%, and I'll go close this trade down for the time being. This one here is Sundog. Sundog is another meme coin that's had formed some brand new highs here at the end of September. And since that time, it has retraced, retesting some of the lower ranges of this accumulation zone that was formed back at the beginning of September. Since that time, as it's been ranging back and forth, I have accumulated some more of this asset. Right now, we're basically break even on this trade. But we're watching for it to reach that all-time high and then get an extension for a target price of 6 cents. At which point I'll be closing that trade out and reevaluating an entry position. For Woo, this is a social trading platform that's coming out. I think it's really fascinating, the innovations that are coming out through this technological renaissance is allowing for new and creative ways for people to socialize while they're trading the markets. And so this platform is coming online where their traders will be able to subscribe to their services. They've been building for this last few months. This chart goes back all the way to 2022. The all-time high is at 8.8 cents, and right now, because of the low price, not 8 cents, sorry, 87 cents is the all-time high. And where we're at right now at 18 cents, the growth between here and that all-time high is a 373% rise. And so
that's about where I purchased it right now, right?
If I'm not mistaken, yeah, you grabbed this one on the 11th, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, on the 11th, the price was even lower than it is today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you got in somewhere around 16 cents, I think. 16, maybe 16.5 cents. And so you are in profit. My trade is not right now. Mine's in the drawdown, but you're up about 10% right now since the 11th. Yeah. Yeah, very, very good. And with that all-time high being the target right now, that's going to provide, Audrey, that's going to provide you with a 440% rise in price on this one. again, as this comes into utility, we're going to see these low prices continue to rise as we have since they announced their launch date. And yeah, that's coming up here next 2 weeks, 3 weeks. So when this occurs, we'll probably see a nice big long candle bringing us up, I would imagine, to this level here, 36 cents or so. Once it's at this level, it'll probably retrace and test the 22-cent level again. Now, when that occurs, when this happens, if I see that that price is going to come back down, I'm actually going to sell some of my position and re-enter at a lower price. And that way I can actually compound my compound interest on this particular trade, on this particular asset. But I'll be walking through people
Yeah.
with that,
So
like, on the day
Deb,
that it
this
occurs.
is one of
Yeah.
the ones. Yeah. Deb,
Yeah.
this is one of the ones that I was thinking that would be possibly good for you to get in on now,
Okay.
just to break that one down and maybe think about that one.
I have a big star beside it.
Okay.
Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful.
So how does this work when you buy it? How many? I know it's shares, but how many? What is the minimum amount that you can buy?
You can buy a minimum amount of about $50, but there are a lot of fees that go into coming into the trade. And so I'm encouraging people to look at, about $200 increments so that those fees don't take up so much of the balance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Good question. Very good question. So, yeah, I just want to change this color here. All right, perfect. So yeah, that's Woo. Next is Arc. This is a private AI project that is
Oh,
showing a lot of
Can you
promise.
expand that again, Paul? I can't see you.
Oh yes, of course.
Thank you.
There we go. So this is Arc. Arc is a beautiful, yeah, it's a really encouraging project for AI where people are recognizing that this AI revolution is something that we can't trifle. This cannot be trifled with. We have to be careful, and the importance of privatizing our data is, I believe, one of the highest priorities. And so the companies that I'm watching in AI are the ones that are looking to ensuring that their users have their data privatized. And this particular chart here did very well over the last few weeks. As it was accumulating within this area, the price was going down, but then you can see that on August 5th, is it this one? Yeah, that's August 5th. There was that low price at 1.3 cents. And after that, when it started to bounce back, that's when I was like, okay, so these lows, as this price action came to fruition, these lows were getting higher. And as that occurred, here's another low that just occurred on October 9th. It was higher than the previous lows that we've experienced. And this high here, coming to test the 3.7 price point, retracing and now accumulating within this long-term purple rectangle here. This is a long-term area where a lot of volume gets accumulated. And right now we're in that zone again. So this is another wonderful time. This project is showing great promise from a price perspective, because this long-term, this white line that I have here is a long-term trend line that got beat out there at the end of September. Yeah, this is the 20th of September. It came out nice and strong, and it hasn't even come down to touch that line again. And in technical analysis, this is a very encouraging price pattern. And so we do expect, as with Woo, Arc is going to be going into utility phase soon, where users will be able to start creating content with their own private AIs. And as those subscriptions come in, that will increase the price of this asset. Sitting right now at 2.2 cents. The target on this particular asset is the all-time high at 15 cents. And so at the moment, that is just, yeah, it's about 580% increase from here to there. Once we reach there, I will be letting my trade go a little bit beyond that because I'm going to want to catch the extension so that when it retraces and retests that all-time high, I'll be able to purchase more and again, compound our gains. For this is BitTensor. This is a massive infrastructure project for data storage, cloud computing for big tech companies. This one here, I'm not going to be trading in it. I'm going to be watching it because it will give me a sense of the value that is being perceived by the big tech companies within this industry. As more and more assets are being converted into data-backed commodities, it's going to be important that we watch this as a barometer. And so right now we're seeing it gain a lot of strength, wanting to reach its all-time high at $796, sitting at a 582 at the moment. It is in this accumulation zone. We already had a retracement into a lower accumulation zone a couple of weeks ago. Is this right? Yeah, all October 3rd. That retracement, this was very encouraging because coming out of that price point, we had big tech companies like Google. They were saying that they were actually going to be utilizing BitTensor for a lot of their infrastructure for their next generation of AI, and so that's what's provided that support coming out of that $500 price point, and we'll see this incrementally go up. And once it reaches this all-time high, I believe we'll see a nice big shot, probably up to that $1,000 mark. So right now, at $580, you're looking at probably about a 160% increase in its price. Again, I'm not going to be putting money into it, but it's going to be good to watch so we can get a feel for the trends in this technology field. Injective token. This is one of my favorite projects right now because of their push to ensure that there is interoperability between the different ecosystems. With all these digital currencies coming out, it's going to get unwieldy because a lot of people are already asking, well, which is the best coin? And there is no answer to that because the best coin for you is going to be the one that works best for you. And instead of trying to get locked into one specific currency and then, of course, centralizing people around the use of that currency, what's going to be occurring probably within the next 3 to 5 years is that people are going to be just trading their currency that they have, and it will be mediated through baskets of currencies where it's not about which coin. Like if someone wants to pay me in my coin, they don't have to go and get my coin to pay me. Interoperability allows it where these transferences can occur without any middlemen or without any exchanges. And so injective token is one of the liquidity pools that have been started specifically to bring us to this end. And so over the last little while, we've seen it break out of that long-term downward trend. This downward trend occurred because they were in development phase, heavily into development phase. This is the phase of time where in a startup company, people are sleeping at the office on the couch type thing because they are coming into their own, where now I think there's like 7 or 8 different tokens that are all now integrating within this interoperability mindset. And so we've been seeing it break out of that long-term trend line coming that is bearish. Now the bulls are starting to show some promise. And again, I know full well it's because those developers and those founders, as that price was going down, they were accumulating pretty much at every one of these points. So those founders and the early developers, those early adopters, they are heavily interested in their project coming into fruition. And so we're seeing now the bulls take back their take back their positions as this project comes into real world, tangible application. So we'll see this, I believe we'll see this reach $100 probably by the spring. And so between here and there, that's a 5 times increase. So this is another asset that I'm very interested in, and I will be accumulating more of this. I already got a bunch more on September 7th, and since that time the price has gone up 25%. So on this particular asset, things are looking very good. My first trade that I took in June, that one has gone down since that time, but this is the strategy called dollar cost averaging. So I made a purchase back then, and I made another one just at the beginning of September. Well, between the two of those purchases, my average price is now around $16, $17. So between the two of those positions, I have a healthy position averaging at around $18, $19. So when it reaches that $100 price point that I'm waiting for, that will give me a beautiful return of over 500%. So that's injected.
Did you make yourself bigger again, Paul?
Oh yeah, absolutely. How does that happen, I wonder?
It's when Debs does something.
Oh, okay. No worries. All right, Destra Network. This project here is for decentralized storage of data. One of the powers of blockchain technologies, and this is something that's gone back for about 23, 25 years now, where companies are able to start storing data without centralized storage facilities, which means that there's more autonomy over the handling of that data, and there's more autonomy over the restriction of the delivery of that data, so it becomes more private. This project is one of the leaders in decentralized storage, and in fact, it's expected that within the next 3 to 5 years, companies like Destra, whether or not it survives is another question, but the companies like Destra are leading us to a world where we don't have to have internet service providers delivering us internet. So, we've got Shaw Internet, TELUS Internet, Bell Internet, all these different internet companies that are charging, $80, $90, $100 a month for their subscriptions. They're going to become irrelevant because of companies like Destra. And it's part of this revolution. We're going to see the internet behave in a very, very different way. And it's going to be largely due to companies like Destra. As we've seen for the past few months, the price has been narrowing down. I've got these orange lines kind of marking off how this price point has been narrowing. Excuse me. As it narrows, we're going to see the energy build and build and build. So when it shoots out of this triangle pattern, we can expect it to move approximately as far as the opening of this wedge. Again, this is more of a technical analysis. When that occurs, the all-time high is going to be no problem for this price point. I believe we'll see it average out and probably finish closing out of this candle, or rather out of this triangle, at around the 18-cent level. When it breaks out and hits up towards that all-time high, it'll be 100% increase, so it'll double. But that will only just be the beginning. You see, again, this project here has really only been available for developers who are very technical. Their objective is that this becomes something that a small business can get into. Even if they have very little experience, they will be able to start utilizing their service to decentralize their web content, which then makes it so much more economical to host websites. We've got, when I was running a hosting company in 2017, 2018, we had clients that were paying $400, $500 a month for their server to deliver their website content. And with security and all that stuff, it can get very expensive. With Destra, we are expecting those costs to drop by 95%. So this growth that we expect to see between the middle of this pyramid, or this pennant, and the all-time high, that's just going to be the beginning. As the next 2, 3, 5 years go by, it's expected, because Destra is set up very, very well, strong leadership, to take people through this entire transition. As the internet is reformed, and we see just how much more economical it is to be hosting with companies like this, this price will continue to rise from that all-time high, easily reach $1. In fact, a lot of the people that I talk to about this particular asset are all saying the same thing. If you're buying this under $1, it's going to be a very, very good price, because likely it'll go to $10 or even $20, in that longer term 5-year plan. So another good asset to have for a long term. 0 by 0. This one here is another AI project that focuses on the privatization of data. We saw a nice big push here in the last, this was at the middle of September, when we had this nice big rally with the bulls. The bears pulled back things for a little bit, kept things in check, so to speak. But when it came back down, you can see it did not come back and even get close to that long-term trend line that we had seen the price follow. And so that tells us that accumulation has occurred, and now the bulls are starting to rally again. The next line that I believe we'll see a pullback will likely be, well, there might be a small pullback here at the 26-cent level, but up here at the 36-cent level, that's likely to be the next target where we see another pullback. When that happens, right now I've got a couple of positions on this asset, but when that happens, I will be selling a little bit of what I have and repurchasing at a lower price. And likely, I think this is about 25% drop between these two lines. I expect that drop to occur. And I will be selling at the top of that and rebuying at that discounted price, so that my bag is 20% larger for when we make the next movement going up to the all-time high. That's my trade plan for this one. Even if I don't do that, this trade that I took here on the 7th of September, when it reaches that all-time high, or rather my target, I should say, my target is 70 cents. That's my all-time target, where I'll reevaluate the entire project, likely sell everything on it. That's going to give me a 5.5x return on that on this trade here. Next we have 3 protocol. This one here is a lot. This one here is just fascinating, because this project here is looking to grant people the ability to use a Visa card without providing any information, without providing any personal identifiable information. That would be incredibly powerful for those who wish to have their transactions be more private as we go into this great reset. So here we can see the price has come from a nice big bullish rally here at the end of September. It has retraced and is reaccumulated here below this point here, at the 8.8 cent level. It is now sitting at just above 8 cents US. And this one here, if it just goes back to its all-time high, that would be a 474% increase. I personally don't have any money in this yet, but I will definitely be adding, I'll be adding this to my portfolio here probably within the next week. Alrighty. This is Link AI. I'm watching this one as well. It has a nice gradual trend line coming upwards, and it has now, it's been both testing that long-term trend line and testing this consolidation zone. So between the two of those two tests, we have formed what's called an M pattern. These M patterns, it's not always the case, But when we see these M patterns occur along trend lines like this, that typically is an indication that we're up for another bullish movement. And so we can expect this accumulation, this consolidation zone rather, to provide that opportunity for more investors to accumulate and realize some nice returns headed back up to the all-time high. That'll give them about 141%. This one's very similar in value, like as far as what the company values, as what we saw with 0 by 0. And so I expect this one to behave very similarly as this project comes into effect. This one here hasn't been around as long as 0 by 0, but again, they've been developing very quickly, especially now that AI has had so much momentum. All right, next we've got 01 Labs. This is another asset that I'm watching intently at the moment. It formed a new high just a couple of days ago on October 14th, and that high is that's a significant one. This rally was actually quite significant. I'm looking for this retracement to dip back down into this area at the 42 cents, 43 cent level, where I will go ahead and start accumulating more. Oh, I got switched over. I'll be accumulating some of this asset as it retraces back into here. So right now we're watching this intently, checking it every day. If the price action comes into this purple triangle, I'll definitely be making a purchase for the next leg up towards the $1 level. After that, I'll reevaluate. FAR. This one here is another one of my favorite projects. I've talked at length over the last week about the video gaming industry and how I see it leading the way in terms of leading the way in teaching people how property rights work. And as a result, I think that we're going to see the next 3 years within the video gaming industry blow up. It's going to be used as an educational platform for the next generation of entrepreneurs, and that is going to provide us with a lot of opportunities to cash in on this form of education. Right now, this particular asset is trading at under 1 cent, and this beautiful push here that we saw on October 3rd is indicative of another movement, because these low prices, this retracement has not followed this pattern of going down where the low prices just keep driving down lower. We're not seeing that occur again, and that's encouraging. That means that we're accumulating. And of course, as this comes into utility phase, where now these are again, this is just the development phase, and so all this price coming down, this is just because it's been a while since the price was high, and the people that were looking for profits are panic selling. So all of these panic sellers here are selling to people like me, and I'm okay with that, because it's going to provide opportunities for us to profit. This particular project, even if the price only goes to its all-time high of 21 cents, that is a 2,300% rise in value from where we are today. So this one here is going to be a little bit more volatile. There will be a lot more risk involved on this one, but with educated risk, I have selected FAR as a token specifically because of their intention to develop video games that are educational for people in entrepreneurialism. And this is the type of project that can allow anyone to turn around a negative experience that they're having with the markets. And I think that a lot of people are going to experience that simply because of how fiat is being deliberately collapsed. That deliberate collapse is calling for other opportunities to be to have money turn into something else, and that's what we're seeing here. I don't believe we're actually seeing a recession. I believe we're seeing a wealth transfer, and the people who do not position themselves for this wealth transfer will experience a recession, because everything that their world has been built upon is being pulled out from underneath them by the banking elites. And this presents opportunities where we can become a part of this transfer. TRX. This one here is another coin that I follow. It is consistently rising, and it's not a massive coin that doesn't have billions upon billions of dollars invested into it. But because of its consistency, I'm following the ecosystem, because it's from the pools of liquidity that are accumulated as this price goes up. These pools of liquidity are providing developers with resources to create new projects. And so again, similar to BitTensor, I'm following what this price is doing to get a feeling, that barometer level of what kind of price action can we see on these projects. This is a nice coin to follow, especially for its consistency. And I believe that it's going to continue as it forms new highs going forward. We're just about at its all-time high, and we can see it following this trend line here, this white trend line. And I think we're going to continue to see this consistency. Once we get above here, over the next few weeks, I think we're going to see some faster growth. And in fact, it's important to note that I do not use a linear graph on my charts. This is actually logarithmic. So what we're seeing here is actually increasing exponentially. And if I were to change this chart to be more linear, this trend line here would actually be curved, because it's a logarithmic. This is a logarithmic analysis of this price action. So what we're witnessing here is actually an exponential curve occurring, but we have it displayed in this form because of how this price action is consistent in going up by percentages, right? So these pushes here, these bull runs, that's 26%. Here's this bull run. Well, that's also 35%. This bull run here is 26%, but the price is higher than it is down here. So even though the distance looks like it's, X amount, that distance here represents a much larger price spread. And so what we're witnessing since this point here is a consistent exponential rise in price action. And I think that that's going to continue as it heads towards $1. XRP, this is going to be a major asset that is used within centralized banking systems. And so I'm watching this one to see where it's going. I believe that they're going to maintain this consistent bouncing back and forth between the two trend lines. And right now we just finished testing the bottom end of that. So I think we're going to see a nice push to come up to the top, and then another retracement as it retests this consolidation zone here, or this pivot zone at about the 57-cent level. For Modic, this is Polygon. Polygon is actually the main liquidity token used for projects like FAR. And so Polygon, I believe, is going to, providing that liquidity for projects like that is going to give this coin in particular a very good, a very powerful return to its all-time high. We can see that as the last few years have gone on, there's been a lot of price action. This is mostly due to announcements and fundamentals, they're called, headlines talking about the industry. Every time it's been pulling back, it's been the opportunities where those founders and those innovators that started these projects are reaccumulating their wealth. And as that occurs, that provides the support for the price to come back to that all-time high. Now, right now, it's sitting at 36 cents US, and with the all-time high set at just shy of $3, we can expect this this is a 660% increase from today's price. Again, I believe that this would happen over the next 3 to 6 months as we go through this. Once we reach that, I'll definitely be reevaluating. I know that we'll probably see a retracement coming back to that $7 level or $7.70 level, possibly even a $1.50 level. But between now and then, we'll have the opportunity to see how to re-enter the market at those lower price points later on. ADA, this is my main coin that I use within my own private trust, private foreign trust that is completely and always will be tax-free. This asset here has been showing, it's been following this downward channel for a while, but as you can see within this channel, since this test of the 41-cent level, the retracements are not continuing that pattern. And so I believe that we are on the verge of a breakout where the price action will rise back above and continue to climb its way up these ladders from the 41-cent level up to 45, 50, and so on. As those psychological levels are taken out, especially if we form a high above this 41-cent level, I think that we'll go a lot faster to that 80-cent level, which is the all-time high for 2024. The all-time high for this asset is actually around $3. And so between here and there, you can expect that I think that's 700%. Let's just see. That's 2024 all-time high. There it is. So from where we are right now, that is a 743% increase to bring us back to the all-time high. And you can see it's been a lot lower. It was in fact 2 cents back in the day. This was in March 2020. March 2020. Isn't that something? So yes, I believe that this growth here is going to provide us, this one in particular, because this is where my private foreign trust is held, I am anticipating that this be that long-term savings account, especially since this coin is being heavily, heavily considered by nations to be using to help their citizens protect their own property. So as we tokenize our real-world assets using Cardano, more and more nations are recognizing how important it is that they help their citizens use tools like this. And the Cardano nonprofit Cardano Foundation that utilizes this token, ADA, is actively, they have delegates that go to these nations to meet with the people and show their communities how to host constitutional conventions so that their governments are put in line and are serving the people. And so it's very, 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 very encouraging to see such a prominent coin take on that kind of initiative. Ethereum. Ethereum is right now sitting at the top of this wedge. I know some people who've actually sold Ethereum, even though that the talk about Ethereum is that it's going to shoot up to $5,000 soon. People are selling it, and the reason why is because they know that there's likely to be another retracement to retest this trend line here. Now that would be a short-term trade. They're probably only going to be in and out of that within a matter of 2 or 3 days, but that just tells you just how much it's important that this price actually breaks out of this triangle pattern before we can say it's going up. After that, it still needs to break out of this pink trend line here. This pink trend line is another trend that needs to be broken out of. And so I believe that when it breaks out of this wedge pattern, it'll likely test that trend line and retest the middle of this trend, or the middle of this pattern at the 2,500 level. At the $2,500 price level, if it can hold its own above that and stay and not close too far down or have too many days below it, as long as it can stay above that, that tells me that yes, will likely break out of this trend line, and we can start working on the next long-term trend line that has been bearish since the 12th of March. So there's a lot of work for Ethereum to do before we can say that it's going up. I know that I'm contrarian on that point, but I'm just providing my technical analysis to back my claim. On to Bitcoin. Man, this will be the last one we do today. Bitcoin is also at the top of a channel. This trend has been bearish quite some time, since March, and this channel now is being tested. Now, it is entirely possible that it will break out above and continue going up. I do believe that we will see one more test of the 63,000 level, possibly even the 60,000 level. And if that occurs and it bounces off of that, then I do expect it to break out and continue upwards. However, we must be prepared for the liquidation of a lot of people's positions, especially as the institutional trading companies are looking to buy at a lower price. There's a lot of talk about crypto in the mainstream right now, especially when we've got people like Trump saying that he's looking to start a coin for America. That will definitely incentivize the price to be brought down so that those institutions can start buying these assets at cheaper prices for their clients. Now, the reason why they can do this, the reason why they can control this, is because back here at this point is when they launched those ETFs. And those ETFs made it possible for the institutional bankers to manipulate the price of Bitcoin just as easily as they are able to manipulate the price of any other asset on the financial markets. So, with Bitcoin in particular, I am very, very cautious about holding it. Yes, will it go to $100,000? I have no doubt. But I will not be using it as my means for securing my property, simply because it's compromised. I follow it because it gives us a barometer of the ecosystem as a whole. It has, whether we like it or not, become the gold standard for the crypto markets. And so we analyze it so that we can better plan our own asset allocation. And that concludes market analysis for today, October 16th, 2024. Thank you so much.